everyone, and welcome back to CCN GameCast. And today we have a pretty good episode, I think. I got a lot of stuff to talk about. This is episode 5, I believe. Yes, episode 5. So, old news, we like to break these down like I usually say. We like to break these down in like categories. So first, we got old news. We'll talk about what we talked about last week for a little bit. So we talked about Conan Exiles, and I said that, there would be more gameplay for that to come. However, after playing it a little bit, I actually decided that I think Conan Exiles is going to be put on the back burner for a while. We have a lot of stuff going on right now. We have the Madden stuff. We have the Uncharted. We have now Ark, and obviously the WWE stuff. So I have a lot of stuff that's taking up a lot of time. So we've been doing double videos on some days, which is perfect. I like doing that because it gives more content for people to watch. So I wanted to explain why no Conan Exiles. So after playing that for a while, I realized that there is some of the stuff in the game that is way too glitchy right now to do a very good show on that, to do a very good episode. So we're going to put that on the back burner. I'm still going to be playing the game. I'm just not going to be sharing the footage on YouTube. Right now, I feel like that's the best option right now. Until some of the things are fixed on Conan Exiles, until the game is reworked so it's better for us to do on YouTube, we're going to put that on the back burner for a while. So expect episodes in the future. Just don't expect them anytime right soon. We started the Long Shot storyline, and we started the Madden career. I'm really enjoying that. I have to play a couple for this week. It is Wednesday right now. Tomorrow this will go live. So I just did a bunch of videos. I literally crunched for about 4 hours today to get all kinds of videos at least played, so I can edit them throughout the week. So Long Shot and Career Mode. I'm actually really enjoying the Long Shot story, and I'm enjoying the Career Mode as well. Last week we did 2 preseason games, 1 training, and I think probably we got that coming up again. But I'm really enjoying that. I'm enjoying being the quarterback. I'm enjoying the way the game plays. We're doing it on pro difficulty, which is perfect right now. The rookie is a little bit too light, and any more than pro is a little bit too heavy. Now, if we're seeing that we're winning games with absolutely no problem, then we'll probably move to a little bit higher difficulty. So, but for right now, we're going to keep that at the same difficulty. Uncharted. We're going to continue that, obviously, and I got Game 3 coming. I actually played the first episode for that today, and that'll be up. I'm not sure if I'm going to put it up on Thursday or Friday, but I'm going to try to put it up on Thursday, I believe. That way, it kind of adds another episode along with this podcast to watch. So be looking for that today while you're listening to this on the YouTube, on the channel. So another thing that I wanted to talk about is we talked about Destiny 2 last week, where, not liking Destiny 1 so much and hoping that Destiny 2 was going to be something better to play. And I'll go in depth more on this in a later segment in this podcast. But we did talk about that. We talked about the pros and cons of it a little bit. And so unboxings was another thing we talked about on Old News. And we actually did one unboxing, and that was for the microphone that we're using right now, the Blue Yeti Pro. Hopefully it sounds 10 times better for you guys. I think it does. And there's a lot of settings on this thing. There's a lot of features on this thing that I really enjoy. Like, it has a mute button, so I can actually mute it instead of having to cut out parts where I might have to sneeze or cough or something like that, which I really enjoy. It has a headphone jack. Oops, see, I hit right next to it. It has a headphone jack in it, and I can listen to my voice as I'm talking, which I think is awesome too, and there's no lag behind it, so I can hear what it's going to sound like to you guys before it actually is recorded. So I do enjoy that a lot. I did the unboxing for the Blue Yeti, however, I didn't do it for the time capsule, so I didn't think that was as important. The time capsule is just a thing to use for the house. It's not really something that's too important to have for an unboxing. So that's why we didn't do that one. I did have footage for it and everything, and I thought about doing it, but it didn't make sense. It wasn't anything that would be too interesting for you guys, and it didn't actually seem to make too big a difference with our internet here. I mean, it still works, so that's a plus, right? So, yeah, that's pretty much old news. Let's move on to our next topic. We got a new segment this week. So, without further ado, let's get on to that new segment. Power rankings. So, I've been watching a lot of podcasts lately, some political stuff, because I like to keep up on that stuff. I don't like, some of the bull crap that goes along with it, and I'm not going to talk about it much on this channel, because that's not what this is all about. But I listened to also the Ross Report, which is Jim Ross's podcast, and he just had a guy on there from PW Insider, for the PWI 500 magazine, I believe it was. And they did like a top 10, I think they do it like every year, based on how the competitors do and everything like that, and then rank them between 1 through however many they do. And they went through like the first 5 of them, I believe. So I kind of wanted to do the same thing. This is real life, by the way, not the universe mode. And we're going to kind of do this every week and do power rankings. So I'll explain, we're going to do top 10. So I'll explain why I chose those top 10s, and we'll go through what I decided to pick for the week as current television goes, having been by Monday Night Raw and Tuesday Night SmackDown, what I believe the power rankings should be. They could be controversial. This is just my opinion, and this just you guys may agree, you guys may not. Feel free to comment down below if you're watching this on YouTube. Like while you're there, subscribe if you haven't already. But, so we'll go down through these power rankings now. So, number 10, I have Dolph Ziggler. This one might be controversial. With all the superstars out there, Dolph Ziggler isn't one of the biggest ones right now. However, I just watched some footage of him on Tuesday Night SmackDown come out and basically make fun of everybody else's entrance. He's got a good thing going here. I think him as being a heel is always fit really good for him. I believe that being a heel is basically a good way to get him a championship. I don't feel like he's going to get a championship as a face very often. I think he just plays a much better heel, and for him to come out on Tuesday SmackDown and he first come out as John Cena with John Cena's music and everything. He then came out as Randy Savage, Naomi, and made fun of all those entrances. And I thought it was actually quite comical and quite funny, and I think it's a pretty good gimmick that he's going on with now. If he continues that, he could go up in the power rankings in the future weeks, but right now I got him at number 10. Ty Dillinger. So Ty Dillinger's been on the SmackDown Live roster for a while now, and he's kind of moved up. He's kind of, he didn't start doing very much, and then he's in the title picture for AJ Styles' United States Championship. So with that factor alone, having watched his climb from the main roster, from NXT, then to the main roster, and then to actually being in a title picture, I would put him at number 9. So that's why he's at his spot this week. Number 8, Samoa Joe. So it goes without question that Samoa Joe is one of the... He's the destroyer. He's the Samoan submission machine, and he took Brock Lesnar to the limits in the past few weeks. This week alone, maybe not quite so much, but I still think he deserves a spot on the power rankings. I believe there's a big future in line for Samoa Joe, and this might be controversial to say too, but I believe that Samoa Joe should be in the title picture for No Mercy over Brock Lesnar. Over Braun Strowman to face Brock Lesnar. But, that's not how things work. Maybe down in the future, we're definitely going to see Samoa Joe with a championship at some point. We just don't know which one, and I think definitely Samoa Joe deserved a spot on the power rankings. Sasha Banks. So Sasha had a good last couple of weeks winning the Raw Women's Championship, and then had a bad night 8 nights later when she lost the championship to Alexa Bliss. But I definitely think the bosses being able to win that Raw championship again, and even though she lost it, she deserves a spot on the power rankings this time around at number 7. So, yeah, I believe that she deserves that spot. There's multiple other competitors out there, Nia Jax, Emma that's coming along, that they'll probably make the power rankings as being one of the only 2 women on this power rankings this week. Maybe Nia Jax will take one of their spots in the coming weeks. Number 6, Alexa Bliss. So this was the second of the 2 women that I have on the power rankings this week. And it's not always going to be that way. There might be no women some week, and there may be, more women than men. But it's just basing on what I've seen out of them. Alexa Bliss is one of these competitors that just has a good storyline. She is a very, very good heel. I think I'm seeing Sasha Banks kind of go that route a little bit. Obviously, Alexa Bliss won the Raw Women's Championship back 8 nights after she lost it. So I think for that matter alone, if I'm going to put Sasha Banks on the power rankings, you got to put Alexa Bliss there with her. Kevin Owens at number 5. So Kevin Owens and AJ Styles have had a feud for quite some time now. And Kevin Owens has been putting on one heck of a match. Has put on good matches every time he stepped in the ring, really. But with AJ Styles they were pretty good matches, you got to admit. So I think he deserves that spot at number 5 on our power rankings for the week. He definitely just got in a feud with Shane McMahon. Shane McMahon throwing down on him after Kevin Owens dropped a huge bombshell and mentioned his kids, and that drove Shane McMahon over the limit and started attacking Kevin Owens. So with that being said, I think Kevin Owens, he's always been a good heel. He'll continue to be a good heel, and that's why he's number 5 on our power rankings for the week. Number 4, possibly the most controversial of them all, Roman Reigns. Now, I got to be careful with where I go here, because Roman Reigns is one of these guys that I'm not a huge fan. I'm not a huge fan of Roman Reigns. I think that he is a decent competitor. I think he's a phenomenal athlete. However, I don't think he's very charismatic, and I don't think he can hold his own with a promo. Now, him and John Cena's promo, and we'll talk about that in a little bit too, that was an epic promo. At the same time, I don't think it was because of Roman Reigns. However, John Cena would not have had the material that he had it not been Roman Reigns in the ring there with him, cutting that promo. So I think for that alone, Roman Reigns deserves this spot as number 4 on our power rankings for the week. Number 3, Braun Strowman. So Braun Strowman is another one of these guys that I do like him. It's not that I don't care for him. However, I feel like he's a hidden Roman Reigns too. I feel like the WWE is trying to push him as another big guy, and we already have one of those in Roman Reigns and John Cena, you could arguably say. And at least the crowd is responding better to Braun Strowman, and they want to see Braun Strowman. And frankly, I do too. I want to see Braun Strowman and Brock Lesnar go at it at No Mercy. And the reason why he's at number 3 this week, Braun Strowman had an epic steel cage match with the Big Show where he basically lawn-darted Big Show through the steel cage wall. Now, we've seen this before, but not quite to that extent. So I had to put Braun Strowman as number 3 on our power rankings for the week, just because of the awesome match that him and Big Show had, the awesome moment where he threw Big Show through the steel wall, and I think at No Mercy it's going to be one heck of a match with him and Brock Lesnar. Number 2, AJ Styles. So I think that if anybody deserves to be in the top 5 consistently, as long as he keeps doing matches and doesn't get injured, AJ Styles deserves to be in the top 5 almost every time you do this. AJ Styles is one of those competitors that puts on the best show in that ring every time he gets in there. Kevin Owens in the feud that he had was absolutely phenomenal. phenomenal matches. John Cena's feud, phenomenal matches. There's a reason why they call him the phenomenal AJ Styles. And there's no specific reason, but Styles deserves to be number 2 in this power rankings, I feel, for the week. So that is why he's earned that spot. So you might be wondering on number 1, who could quite possibly be number 1, where we've mentioned so many big names from Dolph Ziggler, Ty Dillinger, Samoa Joe, Sasha Banks, Alexa Bliss, Kevin Owens, Roman Reigns, Braun Strowman, AJ Styles. Number 1 spot goes to John Cena for the week. I have to say that the reason he's made these power rankings, I'm a huge John Cena fan, and that has nothing to do with it, believe it or not. John Cena pulled off an epic promo against Roman Reigns. And here is my opinion, and I'll talk about this a little more now that we're past Roman Reigns and you guys know who number 1 is that I selected. We'll talk about this promo a little bit more between John Cena and Roman Reigns, because when I watched this, I was blown away. It's almost like a CM Punk John Cena promo right there going on. The thing is, though, CM Punk could hold the promo as good, if not better, than John Cena could from time to time. Roman Reigns, however, I don't feel he knows how to cut a promo. And here's how I feel this went down. John Cena went out there, he hit him with facts, made it semi-funny, and hit Roman Reigns with a broadside truth. Here's what I feel happened there. John Cena would drop a bunch of facts, make it comical, and really tank Roman Reigns. And Roman Reigns came back with, well, John Cena, you're a punk. So here I am, and it's like I'm going back to junior high here. Somebody just burned you good, slammed you good, and you just turn around and say, well, you're an idiot. You know, I just didn't feel that Roman Reigns brought any good material to that promo. I could be controversial in saying that, but I feel like Roman Reigns didn't have anything when it came to that promo. I feel like John Cena carried him the whole way, even broke down the fourth wall and said, yeah, it's called the promo, kid. If you're going to be a big dog, you need to learn how to do them. And I was just like, oh my God, John Cena just literally slobber knocked that guy. And Roman Reigns just comes back with, well, you're a fake. Really? Really? So with that alone, John Cena comes out with the last line of that promo, saying that he could do this part-time better than Roman Reigns could ever do it full-time. And I mean, just the whole thing that led up to there, John Cena knows how to bring that from point A to point B and slam it home, and that's what he did in that promo. That is why John Cena is number 1 on the power rankings for the week. We're going to do these weekly. So these are going to change, and I'm glad that we're doing these because I really actually like it. We get to talk about the real world wrestling and kind of incorporate my opinions as to who I think is on these power rankings. If you guys disagree with something or, would like to comment on these, leave a comment down below. If you're watching this on YouTube, if you're not, go and check out my YouTube channel. Comment down below on this podcast. We always put them up on the same day. Share them to both audiences. You can always get this on Apple Podcasts too. But yeah, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think about these power rankings. If you think I hit them on the money, if you think I missed something, if you think you think somebody deserves a spot more than somebody else, let me know down below. Let me know your opinion. This is just a civil conversation. Like I said, this is just my opinions. They could differ from somebody else's. It's liable to happen. But this is just what I feel it's like. New news. So this is our part of the podcast where we talk about new things. So we talked about the idea of doing an NXT on Universe mode. That's not completely new news. However, we didn't really talk about it too much last week, other than we were going to keep it in the dark, and that's still going to happen, so we're not going to talk about that too much. However, the Cruiserweight Championship we mentioned a few podcasts back, and we talked about that coming to Universe mode. So, breaking news right now, the Cruiserweight Championship will be coming to Universe mode. I will be incorporating that championship into our series, especially when Season 3 rolls around and we get the new game. However, the Cruiserweight Championship will not be on the series in Season 3. In Season 2, currently. Will not be coming out until the new game launches, where we actually have the real title belt. And we're going to do that in the form, and this is some more pretty cool news. We're going to have a Cruiserweight Classic uploaded on our YouTube channel of all the cruiserweights in the game that I can find. We have to pick an even number, so some people might be left out, some people might not. But we're going to have a Cruiserweight Classic to determine the Cruiserweight Championship. From that, moving on, after there's a champion crowned, I'm not sure what we're going to do with the cruiserweights. I have an idea of maybe doing a 205 episode a week and doing like 205 live a little bit, and then having them incorporated also on one of our other shows. I'm not sure what we're going to do with that, but I know we're going to have a Cruiserweight Classic, and once we get the new game and get our hands on it, we'll kind of figure out what we're going to do from there. But I wanted to let you guys know that news, that the Cruiserweight Championship will be coming to Universe Mode, and we will have a Cruiserweight Classic, and I'm so excited for that, bringing that into the Universe Mode. So, more new news, Destiny 2. So, I actually did go out last night on the midnight release and got Destiny 2. I've been playing it a little bit. I really like the game, actually. It's a lot better than Destiny 1, I believe. I think Destiny 2 kind of hits more on the head. The story is awesome. I think the cinematics for that game are phenomenal. I think it's more immersive. The story on Destiny I felt was a little bit weak. Whereas Destiny 2, I think the story is much more immersive. It makes much more sense. And I'm really enjoying that game. So I've been playing it a little bit. I haven't played it a lot because I've been doing a lot of work on YouTube today. But I planned on, after this podcast, getting back onto the game and playing it a little bit. So I'm not sure if I'm going to do any footage for YouTube or not. Because Destiny doesn't really have much of a friendly way to share that content with you guys. If I can think of something, I might post, something here or there. Maybe we'll try the Crucible and post that. So for right now, we won't be bringing any of that Destiny to the channel just because of that not being too friendly to share. Ark. So Ark has kind of taken the place, and we've talked about it a little bit on the last podcast, but Ark has kind of taken the place of Conan Exiles for now. We do have our own Ragnarok server, a dedicated server that we want people to join. However, we are asking a $5 donation a month to keep the server running just because it costs money to do that. So if you guys would like to join our server, go to our Patreon, and you'll see on one of the reward tiers is the Ragnarok server access. Go ahead and donate the $5 if you'd like for a month, and we'll give you the password, and you guys can come join us on the Ragnarok server. We'd really like that. We want to kind of build the community over there, and we're really enjoying Ragnarok. And I hope you guys are enjoying the episodes that we're bringing. And that's actually footage from that server that you guys are able to join. So if you guys want to play with us, feel free to donate a little bit to Patreon just to help us out to keep the server running, and come and join the fun on the Ragnarok server. So this is the part of the podcast where we talk about the games that we've been playing lately. So obviously it's WWE 2K17 because I play that a lot just for the channel alone. I don't actually play it a lot for just playing randomly. I get my enjoyment out of playing for the Universe mode. Some of the matches that we played, Money in the Bank, we had Samoa Joe versus Alberto Del Rio. That match was absolutely epic. Now, we have another one coming that I just played that you guys are really going to enjoy too, and it involves Samoa Joe as well. So make sure you watch SmackDown Live and see Samoa Joe in action, and that match was absolutely phenomenal too. I'm not going to spoil it any more than that. So Destiny 2, we talked about that as well. We've been playing that a little bit over the last day, so not too much, but enough to have a good opinion about it, I think, and I'm actually going to get to play that right after this. So lots of Ark as well. We already talked about that a little bit, and I'm enjoying playing that game, and I'm loving that Ragnarok map. I absolutely love that map. All the waterfalls. I can't wait to get a Griffin. That's going to be our next plan of attack, I think. So, yeah, I'm really enjoying the Ark, and I'm really enjoying Ragnarok. So, thank you guys for joining us here again on podcast number 5. If you've missed any of our previous podcasts, go to Apple Podcasts and look for CCN GameCast. And you can find us on there and watch all the previous episodes Either that, we do share them all to YouTube as well. So feel free to go to my YouTube channel at CCN Gaming, look up our playlist, and watch all the previous podcasts if you'd like. There's only gameplay behind one of them. The rest of them were all just shared from Spreaker. And because it takes a lot of time to do some gameplay for that too, so I didn't want to have to do that. I just share them so you guys can enjoy listening to them there. Yeah, so without further ado, thank you guys so much for listening in again today on this podcast, and I hope you guys are enjoying it. I hope you guys are enjoying all the footage on YouTube, and we want to thank you guys for your support. Remember, if you'd like to join our server on the Ragnarok CCN Gaming Dedicated server, go to our Patreon, donate $5 a month, and you can gain access to that server and play with us and help build the community over there. So thank you guys so much for listening again today, and thank you guys for all the support on the channel and the podcast here, and we will see you guys next time.